We are back with my absolute favourite series to film. We are reading wrapped up books. I have, I believe, 19 books left, and as always, we will be unwrapping 3 books at random, reading them in a spoiler-free reading vlog. I have one optional swap out, and you guys know the drill. I think we're just gonna get right on into it and find out what we're reading this week. I don't know what I want. I feel like I wouldn't mind a thriller. I don't want romance. I don't even know if I want literary fiction. I've been in a lit fic slump. Maybe fantasy, maybe thriller, sci-fi, maybe. I can't even remember what's still in here. I know what this one is. That's the only one because it's so much bigger. I remember that. Everything else could literally be anything. Okay, I have my trusted wheel with all of our remaining numbers, and we are going to find out our very first read. Book number 9. Okay, kind of a smaller one. Oh, actually a really skinny one. This makes me think it could be literary fiction. I guess some of the thrillers are quite small, some... No, this can't be a romance. I feel like this has to be literary fiction. Okay, I'm scared. Let's find out together. You ready? I can't get in. Oh my gosh. Is it something good, guys? I have no idea. It's really thin though. I am so happy with this. I forgot I put this in here. Okay, I'm very happy with this. This is a recent purchase. This is exciting. Okay, we're starting this week with Liars, a literary fiction. Did just say I didn't want a literary fiction, but I feel like I want this one. Okay, book number 1 is The Liars. So let's get into the reading. Guys, you don't understand. Guys, you don't understand. I need to compose myself. I think I'm reading my best book of the year. I think I am, guys. I am obsessed. I am obsessed. Is this my best book of the year? Maybe. I'm not even that far in. I'm on page 84, which is unfortunately nearly a third. Like probably exactly a third. I have never tabbed this much in my life. This might well be my best book of the year. Up until now, The Nursery has held that title, and it has held that title since I think like February or March, and it has stayed strong. I think this might be on par with The Nursery. I don't know if it's overtaken it, but I think it might be joint first for my best book of the year. I am obsessed. As I say, I'm about a third in to The Liars. This one is basically following Jane, who is a writer, and she marries a man called John, a horrible man who is a filmmaker. And because they're two like creative people working in creative fields, a big theme of the book is kind of like balancing creative and personal life, which is something, considering I'm an actor and I've grown up around actors and like that industry and those people, it's just something I feel very connected to. And then it's also talking about their relationship and kind of like the really horrible things that happen in their relationship and how they treat each other, specifically how he treats her, which, spoilers, is not well at all, but the writing is phenomenal. I genuinely don't think I've ever tabbed a book this much, and I'm only 80 pages in, and I'm gonna run out of tabs. Like, I don't actually know what I'm gonna do when I run out of tabs, because I don't think, like, I never tab this much. I'm literally tabbing like multiple things on a page. Like, this page has 3 tabs. It's the kind of writing style that I absolutely adore, and I know it's not for everybody, but it's a really like pared back writing style. It jumps around in time, and there's just something about that style of writing that feels so raw and visceral, and it also just moves with pace because of how it jumps around. There's no dilly-dallying, there's no like explanations of us traveling to a new place. It's just we're here and then we're here. And Sorrow and Bliss by Meg Mason did it very well, and this is doing it so well. I think this well could be my best book of the year, or at very least joint first with The Nursery. And actually they're kind of following a similar theme, because this one is moving into talking about motherhood and her relationship with being a mother but also being a writer, and that is the exact theme that happens in The Nursery, and we all know that that's a theme that I'm obsessed with. And the fact that I didn't even know that this was a tale of motherhood and talking about the differences between motherhood and fatherhood and how it's completely changed her life and changed her creative journey and like trying to balance those. The nursery did it so well and this is doing it so well. I'm obsessed. I really hope this stays as good as it is, because if it does, babe, best book of the year. Guys, when I tell you that I finished this book like a week ago and just somehow, and I literally don't know how I achieved this, somehow completely forgot to tell you about it, but I finished Liars and oh my goodness. I mean, I gave a pretty glowing review when I last spoke to you. Yeah. 5 stars, obviously. Like, is that even in question? I loved this. This was dripping with female rage. If you like a female rage book, could not recommend more. I think I'm putting this at probably 2nd favourite book of the entire year. I think The Nursery just peaked it, but 2nd favourite book of the year. And they're actually relatively similar. They have a lot of similar themes in terms of like motherhood and like balancing being a writer and being a mother and the differences between motherhood and fatherhood. Lots of similarities, but I did really like the conversations in this one's about balancing like a creative relationship and like having your personal relationship with being a creative and then balancing like the success between 2 people. And the guy in this is so jealous and I was so irrationally angry at him considering he is fictional, but I hated him. But you're meant to, but I hated him. This was great. This was so great. The writing in this is phenomenal. I have tabbed so many quotes. I don't think I've ever tabbed this much in a book, especially a book of this size. Like, this is a skinny book. I tabbed so much. I loved this. I sometimes feel like the more I love a book, the less I have to say about it, which I don't know why that happens, but it's kind of just like a feeling of like, I need you to read this. It is female rage core. I also just love the pared back writing style, how we jumped around so much in timeline. It made it quick paced, but so hard hitting because you spend so many years with this couple and you see all of this resentment building and building, and then you see it break and even things that you see coming. And there's something on the back of this book. I mean, I may as well just tell you because it's literally on the blurb, but then it also doesn't happen until like 80% into the book. So I guess skip a few seconds if you consider that a spoiler, but it is literally written on the back of the book. It says that John leaves her, which does happen, but it happens at 80%. So I'm surprised they put it on the blurb. Very surprised at that. I kind of actually wish they hadn't. I feel like it would have been more hard-hitting had they not had put that on the blurb, but equally, it doesn't really matter per se, but knowing that that was coming and knowing that we were leading to that point just gave it so much tension. And like, I loved our main woman and I hated the main man, and all of that is intentional, but I just had so many strong feelings to the characters in this book, and that is all credit to the writing. I am immediately gonna go out and buy everything else that this author has written because this was phenomenal and I was so connected to the writing. So if you like female rage, if you like literary fiction, could not recommend this more. Literally could not recommend this more. 2nd favourite book of the entire year. Like, I think this is phenomenal. Okay, we are back to pick our 2nd book. We started off with a literary fiction, so hoping for another genre, but other than that, not too worried. I feel like we got off to a strong start. So let's pick book number 2. Book number 29. Okay, a much bigger book. This could definitely be a thriller. I feel like it could be also a romance. I really don't want a romance, but we have the optional swap out should we need it. Let's find out what we're reading next. I always try and guess, but I have no idea. Scythe. Okay. Guys, don't hate me. I think I'm going to use my optional swap out. I think I am. I'm so sorry. I know this is so popular and I want to read it. I don't want to read it right now. I'm sorry. I'm so excited for this. It's a YA dystopia in like a world where they've solved death. It sounds amazing. I'm going to get to it. I own the whole series. I'm going to love it. I know I am. but I'm a mood reader and I just know that I don't want to read this right now. I'm so sorry. I know everyone's going to be annoyed. I am so sorry. I will read it eventually, I promise. I will try and prioritize it soon, but not today, not today. Okay, we are using our one optional swap out, which means whatever we get next, we have to read. And if it's worse, if I don't like it, I still have to read the second book. I can't swap back to the first book. Those are the rules, okay? Let's respin the wheel and hopefully, oh, I'm really scared. Hopefully I get something I'm in the mood for. Let's see what we're reading. Book number 30. Oh, it's the book right next to Scythe. And it's a similar size as well. I'm now really nervous because I feel like I shouldn't have used my swap out, because what if this is worse than this? Not that this is bad, but like I'm not in the mood for this. But what if I'm really not in the mood for this? What if this is a romance? Part of me's like, do I just not open it and just read this? No, I'm gonna risk it. This could go so badly. Okay, let's find out. Please be good. Okay. It's a glossy cover, whatever it is. Is it good, guys? Is it? Oh, it's one of those with the edge. I have no idea. Okay. Okay. I shouldn't have swapped. We have small pleasures. I shouldn't have swapped. Okay, we have a historical fiction. Guys, I bought all these books, right? I want to read them all. It's just like, do I want to read them now is the thing. Okay, this is a historical fiction, which I'm not inherently necessarily in the mood for, but nonetheless, the rules are the rules. We use the optional swap out. We have to read the second book. Do I kind of wish that I stuck with Scythe? Yeah, a little bit, but them's the rules. No, it's okay. We're going to go in open-minded. I've heard very good things about this. It was longlisted for the Women's Prize, so should be good. Should be good. Going in open-minded with a historical fiction, Small Pleasures, is book number 2. A few days ago, I started Small Pleasures, and I'm on page 108, so I guess a third. In this book, we're following Jean, who is a journalist for like a very small local paper, and she gets told about this case of a woman who believes that she's had a virgin birth. And so Jean really, really wants to follow this case, and so she starts getting to know Gretchen, who is the mother. 408 pages in, I will say that it is moving very, very slowly. I think this is going to be the kind of book that is incredibly slow paced. It's definitely way more of a character study book. In terms of plot, very little has happened so far. We've had a couple of really lovely quotes. There's one talking about Gretchen that says, "The woman is either deluded or dishonest." And then Jean kind of in prose says, "How ready people are to think a woman they have never met a liar." So there's some real like feminist undertones, which is obviously gorgeous. But in terms of actual plot, it's pretty slow moving. To be honest, for 108 pages in, I don't have loads to say so far. Maybe I should have just updated you later. But it's just taken me quite a long time to get to this point. So I felt like I should check in because it's been a minute. Yeah, I'm going to try and make some big progress on this today because I feel like otherwise this video is going to take me a year and a half to get out. So I'm going to try and read as much as physically possible. But yeah, it is very slow paced currently. Guys, when I tell you it's been days and I'm still going with Small Pleasures, I'm on page 238. So I guess 2/3. It is taking me a long time to get through this book. It's really well written. It is so well crafted, but it's just also very slow paced, which the more that I'm reading, the more that I'm like, I think that's the point. The point of this book, as I can tell, is kind of talking about the small pleasures in life. And I feel like it's one of those books where it's kind of like, take a step back, let this book be slow and quiet, and it's about the small things in life. It's kind of like a stop and smell the roses kind of a thing. Well, that's how I've interpreted it anyway. But it is also taking me quite a long time to get through it. That being said, I am starting to get more into it now. I was a bit unsure at the start. I'm definitely getting more into the character study side of it now. I did kind of accidentally see a review of this. I was looking up the Goodreads and I saw a review that says that the ending is bizarre, which I'm intrigued because right now it's fairly mundane, like it's fairly kind of day-to-day stuff. And this review kind of was suggesting that the ending was quite outlandish, which if that's true, and it's only one review, so I have no idea, but if that's true, I can't make those two things correlate in my mind because right now this is just very like day-to-day stuff going on. So the idea of having a bizarre ending is a little bit mind-boggling to me at this point in the story. But we'll see. I'm really liking the characters. This is definitely a book that's very like warm and cozy and lovable characters if you like that kind of thing. And as I say, I am getting more into it now. It's just taking me a while, but I am going to try and power through and finish it today because I'm not working this evening. So with any luck, I reckon I can get this one done today. Okay, I am happy to report that I have finally finished Small Pleasures, and I now completely understand what that review was saying when they said that the ending was bizarre, because safe to say, could not have seen that ending coming. In terms of the kind of like mystery of the woman and the virgin birth, I kind of knew, well, I assumed the whole way through that I knew where that was going. That side of it I knew, but there is something completely separate to all of that that happens at the end of this book. And actually, you can't really fully understand it unless you read the afterword, which is a slightly odd decision because I think you literally won't understand the relevance of any of it until you read the afterword. Maybe some people can, but from what I've seen of reviews, I don't think you can. I also chatted with a couple of friends who have already read this, and they both said that they didn't really make the connection at all because the end of this book, without any spoilers, connects to something that happens right at the start of the book. I don't want to say anything because I don't want to go into spoiler territory, but it's something that is only quite quickly spoken about at the start, and then it connects again at the end, and neither of them actually picked up on it and were so confused. I did understand that thing, but I didn't get any of the relevance again until I read the afterword. So it's a very just oddly structured ending. Like, it definitely got me. I didn't see it coming, but it was also, it's strange that it needs to be fully explained in the afterword. So I don't know. I mean, take of that what you will. Kind of throughout, this moved very, very slowly. I kind of grew to enjoy the characters and the character study, but it's definitely not my like favorite style of writing, my favorite style of narration. But I do think the point of this, and like I kind of spoke about this before, was like looking at the small pleasures in life. It's a very, very descriptive book, which I've kind of spoken about in previous videos. It's not my favorite thing. I'm a big fan of like a very pared back writing style, the kind of writing style that jumps around in time a lot, that kind of doesn't fixate on things and kind of does skim past details. And I know that's really not many people's cup of tea, but I weirdly quite like that style. So this was in a lot of ways the opposite, because this was very, very descriptive and talking a lot about the little things in life. But if that sounds up your alley, it is very well written. The ending is just slightly bizarre, I guess is a good word for it. It's just almost quite unconnected to the rest of the story. But it also does kind of come full circle, so I don't think I'm making much sense, but hopefully maybe take of that what you will. If it sounds interesting to you, it's well written. It's just a slower paced book, so I guess just know that going in. But that does mean we are done with this book and we are moving on to our next read. Okay, we have had a literary fiction, we've had a historical fiction, we're picking book number 3. I'd kind of like something maybe thrillery, something like easy. I feel like maybe the last 2 books were more like focusing books, and as someone who has been in maybe / still kind of is in a book slump, I'd like some easy reading because I feel like the last 2 weren't, but it's out of my hands and we've used the optional swap out, so whatever we pick, we're reading. There are no more chances. Okay, picking our 3rd and final book. I am so nervous. Book number 28. We've literally opened 28, 29 and 30. Okay, it's another big one. What if this is Powerless? Powerless by Elsie Silver is in here. It could be this one, it could be number 10. I really don't want a romance, guys. I shouldn't have used my optional swap out earlier. I'm I'm nervous. Again, I know that I've bought all these books at one time or another, but it's just being in the right mood for them, isn't it? Okay, I'm scared. I shouldn't have used the optional swap out earlier. What if this is a romance? I'm not in the mood. Okay, it's fine, it's fine. Our third and final book is... This is powerless, I can literally feel it. Oh, it's not. Oh, but it is a romance. Well, we've got a romance. I really thought that was powerless for some reason. It just felt like powerless. And then I saw the pink and I was like, it's powerless. No, we have Dating Dr. Dill, also a romance. Well, at least it's different from the last two. And I said I wanted some like fun, easy reading. So maybe, hopefully, this will be that. At least we've got a good range. We've had a literary, a historical, and we are ending on a romance. So book number 3, we have Dating Dr. Dill. Let's get into it. So I am halfway through Dating Dr. Dill. I am listening to the audiobook because I was just craving something kind of like lighthearted, fun, cutesy while I was listening. So went with that, and now I am pretty much exactly halfway through. So I thought we should chat. Did I tell you what this book was about? I'm gonna go with no. So we're following Karina, who finds out that her mother's house, her mother who's passed away, her house is being sold. And she loves this house and she really, really wants to keep the house. So she's trying to find money basically to buy it herself. And she basically ends up making a deal with her father that if she can get engaged within like, I can't remember the actual timeline, 4 months apparently. If she gets engaged in 4 months, then she gets the house. She then, kind of through like a series of events, ends up having a massive argument on television with this doctor. This guy has a show all about, like, he's a doctor, but he has a show all about like the heart, and then he's doing an episode kind of on heartbreak, and he says something that she like completely disagrees with, and they get into this big argument. And everyone around them is like, they have chemistry, and it's basically trying to set them up. Their families are like, you guys need to be together. Big argument, blows up, live TV, and then that's the concept, basically. As I say, I'm halfway through. I really like our main girl, Karina. She is like very independent, knows herself, very like strong-willed, love her. Not so sure about the man. Not so sure. It's only like little things, and sometimes he does things that are really nice, but then other times, I don't know, maybe it's just like, I don't know, he just sometimes seems a little bit controlling and a bit possessive. So I don't know. I'm giving him a chance. I'm hoping he's gonna come around, because sometimes he does do really, really nice things, but there are just moments where, I don't know, she will like do something that seems fine and then he'll just get a bit funny about it. I don't really know how I feel about him yet, but I'm really liking her. And it's easy reading. I've literally flown through. I think I started the audiobook last night and I'm halfway through. And honestly, I might even finish it today. I have about 2 hours until I need to go into London. So maybe I'll have time. I don't know, we'll see. I have finished Dating Dr. Dill. He grew on me, Dr. Dill. He grew on me towards the end. I still stand by, I think some of his actions were questionable. Not all of them, and like, that's why he kind of grew on me, because he definitely had really positive moments, but I do think there were just 1 or 2 red flags. I don't know, but I really liked the woman in this book. She was great, and he did grow on me towards the end. So do with that information what you will, but the writing was really fun. There was some really like great conversations in the subplot, which I think was great. And like generally speaking, it was easy, fun, cutesy reading, which is kind of what I wanted. I mean, I kind of literally said that I didn't want a romance, so you know, them's the breaks, but I did want something that was just like fun and like easy listening, and that was definitely what this was. And honestly, I think that's kind of all I have to say on this one. Kind of a short and sweet review, sorry, but I feel like those are all my thoughts. I kind of said most of what I thought at the halfway point. So I think we're just going to wrap this book up here, and with that, the video. So thank you so much for watching. This is one of my favorite series to film, so if you want to see it again, let me know in the comments, like the video, all of that stuff very much encourages me. If you're not already, subscribe. I would love to have you, and I will catch you in the next one. I love you so much. Goodbye.